Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel. I have been down with the flu, but lucky for you, before I got sick, I had started filming some delicious dump and go crockpot meals. So I have 5 recipes that I'm going to share with you today. So stay tuned so you don't miss any of them. First dump and go recipe just calls for chicken, rotel, enchilada sauce, your bean of choice, some taco seasoning, some chicken broth, and you let it cook until the chicken is tender. And then you're going to shred the chicken up. While you have the chicken out of the crock pot, put the cream cheese in. And I will say it's probably a better idea to take some of the juice out, put it in a thing with the cream cheese, and use some kind of whisk to kind of cream it together. But anyway, once you have all that done, put the chicken back in there, let it finish cooking, and this is what you have. This is something I just made up because I didn't feel like going to the store. So very simple to make, very delicious, and you can top it with whatever you want, whether it's cilantro, sour cream, jalapenos, but this was very good. We love red beans and rice in our house, and I forgot to let the beans soak. So this is one of those things where I did have to put them on the stove and just let them boil for just a few minutes, just so that they could kind of start softening up. But I just add them to the crock pot with my sausage, some Tony Chachere's, a lot of garlic, because you know I love garlic. I added some minced onion in there, as well as pepper, some salt, and a bay leaf. And then I also added some Worcestershire, maybe a couple splashes of Worcestershire to it. And then I'm not using beef broth, I'm using the beef base. So I added about 4 cups of water to the crock pot and added the beef base and put the bay leaf in there, and you're just going to let that cook on low for as long as possible, just because you want your beans to be tender. I let this cook for about 7 hours, and when I got home, I just took this little tool that I got from Pampered Chef and used it to mash up some of those beans, and it kind of started thickening up the red beans. And then I served it over some jasmine rice, and this was a super delicious and very easy crock pot meal to make. This cheeseburger soup is a recipe that you can actually cook it on the stove, but you can also put it in your crock pot. And this is another one of those, if you have your ground beef already browned up, then this is one of those dump and goes. I just put the ground beef in the crock pot with some frozen onions, frozen carrots, frozen hash browns. I added some parsley, some Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, as well as some garlic and some Tonys. Then I added 4 cups, this is a 4-cup box of beef broth, and once I have that all added, I'll stir that up. And then I kept thinking I felt like it should have been juicier, and then I realized that I forgot to add the milk. So you add your milk to this and you let it cook on low. I let it cook all day on low. Once it has about 30 minutes left, I take the lid off, and I have an 8-ounce block of Velveeta cheese that I've diced up, and I add that to the crock pot, let it cook for another 30 minutes or so, and then this is done. This is such an easy meal, and I really like using the diced potatoes, like the hash brown potatoes, better than cutting up the potatoes, but that's just my preference. But this is so delicious. This is a recipe that I found online, so I'll make sure that I have it listed below. But I'm just adding my bell pepper and onions, and then my black beans, which I didn't rinse them or drain them. I just added everything. I added the rotel, some green chilies, and some taco seasoning. And I will say, I wish I would have added some corn just to give it a little bit of extra, an extra variety of flavor in there. But anyway, I let this cook all day on low for about 7.5 hours. When I got home, I shredded the pork, and this is what you had. Now, I will say I served it over cauliflower rice. I think this would be delicious over nachos or pasta or even on tortillas. I feel like the rice, there was just kind of like one flavor, and I wish it would have had kind of a little bit of a variety of texture, I guess. But the pork definitely had a great flavor. This last meal is something that I just came up with. I had gone to Sam's and gotten this big package of beef tips, so I wanted to go ahead and use some of that. So I put the beef tips in the crock pot, and I will try to type below the recipe that I kind of created. I'll do that in the description box. But anyway, to the meat, I added this 3 pepper and onion blend, and I also had some frozen carrots left over in my freezer, so I decided to add some of those. For seasoning, I'm adding this roasted garlic and herb by Weber. I really like this seasoning, and I finally decided to bite the bullet and pay a little extra and try out this Rao's marinara sauce. And I will say, I was not really a fan of that spaghetti sauce. Next time I use it, I will definitely use the Prego roasted garlic and herb that I always like to use. But anyway, for this one, I used the Rao's, and I let it cook on low for about 7 hours. When I got home, I stirred it up, and I am going to add tortellini. I also bought tortellini from Sam's, so I'm going to add 1 package of tortellini to this and let it cook for about 20 minutes, I guess, until the tortellini is cooked through. You can cook it separately if you want to. I just like to add it to whatever I'm cooking and let it cook that way. So I put the lid back on it, let it cook for another 20 minutes or so, and then dinner was served. This was a very, very easy meal, and it was really good. The meat was very, very tender. The tortellini, 5-cheese tortellini, had a great flavor. And of course, you can serve this with, green beans, garlic bread, but this is just basically all we had. So that is basically your 5 delicious dump and go crockpot meal ideas. I apologize for the sound of my voice. Hopefully I'm on the downside of this flu. You'll have to let me know if your family has avoided it this season. Thankfully my husband hasn't gotten it, but anyway, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you are looking to see more videos like this and you like homemaking, cooking, recipe ideas, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.